Previously on PolyArmoury.
Oh fuck it, I go to Darius Freud right in my underwear.
It's the place that has no rules, but there is staff sensitivity training not to ask where someone's in just their underwear. I'm gonna open my mouth and you just put the food in there, thank you. I'm gonna go to the shop and find out if it's open. When I go to get spell components, I'll ask them about fantasy milk.
You don't need to ask them for fantasy milk, you just need to ask them for milk.
From outside, you hear a sound like somebody trying to learn a wind instrument, and as you approach and open the door, the music immediately stops. You see a small ginger goblin. She seems to be sort of hiding something under the counter.
Sorry, hope we didn't disturb you. Notice you turning the music off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, sorry, nothing happened and everything's good. Spell component pouches. You got any of those in?
Have you got any juice?
We don't sell perishables here. We don't do food. There's a Daru's across the road. They might have something.
Next time we find a nice enemy that we can kill, we'll take a part of them and we'll make our own juice. That'll be great.
Hope you're not too tired. I need you to do quite a lot of work today. There is a rumour that the gnolls have got Modritar.
What is this they've got?
This famous orc known as Ban rose up, gathered together a load of the local businesses and formed an alliance to take down this large group of trolls that was absolutely destroying the local town. Modritar is a warhammer.
If that's actually what they're saying it is, that's quite something, isn't it?
That is what they're saying it is, but who can be sure? I suggest you head over and see the gnolls on their warehouse on the edge of town. And make sure you don't lose the item once you have exchanged it for this 6,000 in gold. The real hammer has been imprinted by one of our warlocks up at head office who makes sure that you do have the correct items. She hands you a small green stone. Just touch it against the item or hold it near the item. It will vibrate and glow so that you know you've got the real thing. Inside the warehouse, you see lots of large stacked boxes, very similar to things you've seen in the stockroom at work.
Is this a rival company selling traps?
Either that or they're a supplier.
I don't get that feeling.
There is an open area. In the middle of this is a chain hanging down from the ceiling with a hook on the end, and on the end of this hook appears to be what is almost certainly somebody in a burlap sack hung upside down by their ankles.
Let's be in our best business game, and hopefully we won't find ourselves in burlap sacks.
You see through a gap in the large stacked boxes. In the distance there appears to be quite a long table with some small figures hunched over it. It does rather look like they are all tied to this table. And you hear the sort of familiar whomp sound of people travelling through portals. There's a stamp the shape of a fish on the box. On top of this is a fancy looking hammer.
Well, let's cut straight to the chase. We have money. You have a very valuable warhammer. We have a way of authenticating whether this warhammer is the real deal. We wish to give you money for the warhammer.
Yes, hammer is here on table. You present me with the 8,000 gold we talk about. I've spoken to your boss, the freakish Half-Ogre.
I pull the green stone out of my pocket and go over to the hammer.
You see a look of genuine nervousness. You detect deeply that there is something super dodge going on.
I've touched the stone against the hammer.
It appears to be vibrating and glowing.
And I just start to walk away.
I walk with her.
I feel like we're about to enter combat for some reason. Why do I feel like that?
Roll initiative.
Oh, what a surprise.
I don't think the boss would like you to leave with all of that gold. Perhaps you'll leave here. There's one on the floor that's had his ankles ripped off. The other one attacked Thrall. There are two approaching you from behind. That gnoll looks shaken and some of its fur has been singed and it smells bad in here now.
Yeah, Burning Head does that.
You've come onto my property. You have killed. I mean, what have you done to these people?
Well,
you are savage like animals. Over your dead bodies.
With pleasure. If you try and kill us, we're gonna murder you.
The gnoll is seriously questioning everything about his life at this point.
I'll give you 1,000 gold if you just admit the hammer you've got's fake.
We have the real hammer.
It's not what you were selling us, is it? I'll give you 1,000 gold if you just admit that the hammer you've got's fake.
We have the real hammer.
It's not what you were selling us, is it?
You're going to do the deal with us, and you're going to give us the actual real warhammer. No!
Thrall takes 4 damage, so the boy is incapacitated. 4 damage.
I am incapacitated.
Give me the money and get out.
Give us the warhammer and you can take the money.
Fine, I will kill you all. The gnoll raises both of his scimitars over his head as if that he is going to just cause the most almighty strike down on you and literally behead you with scimitar scissors. And at that precise moment, there is the most almighty crash at the far end of the warehouse. There is a sound of something animal groaning. The gnoll turns to find out exactly what is happening. You have a moment to decide what you would like to do.
I cast Spare the Dying on George. We grab Thrall and run.
You see Boss Gnoll just comes flying out of a skylight window and just splashing into the river. You see something big and bulky as hell. Humanoid? It has green skin. Seems to have lines over it. Its proportions are strange. It just smashes where the front door was and just wanders off through the cave network of the Underdark. Vendurak looks at you with a confused and somewhat concerned face.
Things did not go according to plan.
Fighting death and human horse, Thorson tried to kill them all. They escaped the vile moor. Now PolyArmoury store. PolyArmoury!
That's fucking amazing.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Stone Monkey Radio's roleplay series, PolyArmoury. I am Jane Magnet, and I am the mistress of this dungeon. Joining me today to be spanked until they scream the safe word, which today is Theodolite, are Laura Kate Dale.
Hello, I'm here. I'm not from the places I used to be. I'm doing other things now. I'm eating a pot noodle while we record. It's that kind of day.
And George Johnson.
Can you repeat the safe word, please? I didn't quite get it, and I want to make sure I've got it, you know?
The safe word today is Theodolite.
Theodolite.
Yes, it's my favourite word.
It's a very nice word.
It is, but try screaming that when you're in trouble. Yeah.
Theodolite!
I'm sorry, what did you say? Vitalite? No.
I mean, that is also pretty nice.
And if anyone would like to tweet at us, you can find us at PolyArmoury SMR or use the hashtag PolySMR. And without further ado, I will whisk you away to Mordtown in the Underdark. It's been a little while since your last mishap.
It's good to not be dead.
I would
It is
imagine
good
so.
to not be dead. That is the most important thing.
So you have returned to the PolyArmoury store, where Vendurak was not too cross. She just crossed her arms and was quite disappointed.
Hey, we came back with all of the money.
You did come back with the money.
We
and
didn't
your lives,
lose anything.
which meant she didn't have to retrain anyone, and I'm sure she was very happy about that. So, it's been a few days. You have nursed your wounds. You are largely fit and well again. You've basically been doing light work around the store, not really going out for any reason much. Just hanging around. Everyone's doing okay now. The store has been pretty quiet. You've not really seen anything exciting going on around Mordtown. There was a brawl at Ganley's the other day, but that's pretty standard for Mordtown.
Yeah.
One quiet day in the store. It's a little bit warm. No one's quite sure why, since you live underground. But there it is. Into the store comes a group of 3 kobolds, one trying to sort of wrestle their way through the door, while holding what looks like a small bundle of spears. And between the 3 of them, they're sort of desperately trying to wrestle these in, because these spears are much longer than they are tall. They finally sort of manage to wrestle them in and sort of up to the counter, and they say, alright, how much can we get for these then?
The going rate's about 5 silver a spear.
But they're like proper good spears, yeah?
Okay, might be able to push up to 7 silver a spear.
I don't know. How much damage do these spears do? If you had to, like, summarize it in a number of, like, D6's damage they would do, how much do they do?
What's a D6?
So you don't, you come in here to our place of business trying to act like you know a thing or two about spears. Those are 6 silver at the most.
can I make an investigation check on the spears?
Please do.
And can I do a perception check on the kobolds?
Goodness.
How are they?
Well...
My perception is low, but at least someone's got very high investigation.
Laura thinks there might be some gnomes in the shop.
These
Brilmara...
gnomes with bits of scale stuck on them. What's this all about?
These are some funny-looking gnomes, says Brilmara.
These are some great funny-looking gnomes, aren't they?
Why is she on West Country?
I don't know. It
Are
just
you
felt like the
implying
right
that
thing.
people from the West Country are less intelligent? Are you implying such a rude thing?
No, I was more implying like it
She
sounded
suddenly
like a
becomes
hobbity
Sam
thing to
Gamgee.
say. Yeah. Right.
Goodness.
How do they look?
Wow. They what the spears because apparently the gnomes you've got in here look right shifty. No, they look jolly friendly and very helpful. The spears, which they with difficulty try and shove up onto the counter for you to peruse, they appear to be a fairly normal sort of spear. About 6 foot long, hence the three of them having quite a lot of trouble getting them in the door. Then we have they seem to have quite a lot of blood on them. There's a few sort of pock marks. One of them has scratched into the handle, property of Clark.
Let me just talk to my colleague for a moment. I pull Brilmara aside. Brilmara.
Yes.
Brilmara. I think these guys have killed some people and nicked their spears off them, and they're trying to fence them off of us.
Yeah, but also those gnomes seem like such lovely people. I'm sure they wouldn't have done anything that mean to us.
Brilmara.
Yeah.
Brilmara. They're not gnomes. They're kobolds.
I clearly got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
Yeah.
Could have sworn they were gnomes.
No, they're definitely kobolds.
Right, am I?
Now I'm not sure about the PolyArmoury official business policy on fencing products.
I would suggest that if we get a low enough price for them to offset the risk, then it's probably all right.
Yeah, I'll take that. Okay.
I reckon if we can get them for like 3 silver each at most.
Okay.
Go on,
Okay.
just we'll push them on the whole. We know you want to get these off your hands thing.
Do you want to give your haggling talents a go?
Let's give my haggling talents a
Excellent.
go.
Okay, let's give it a go, and then I'll step in if you're not having much luck.
So, is now a good point for me to mention some of the things I got when I leveled up between episodes? Because one of them is relevant to this particular role I'm going to do.
If you feel it would be relevant, then I think we should definitely do the thing.
Okay, so we leveled up between episodes, and there's the basic stuff. I got, I think, 5 extra hit points. I'm up to 17. I got a new spell, which is Witch Bolt. But the thing that's important right now is I got some invocations, which are basically magic I can use at any time, and some of them have, consistent buff effects. One of them is Beast Speech. I can now cast Speak with Animals at will without using up a spell slot. And I have Beguiling Influence, which gives me proficiency in Deception and Persuasion, which is really good considering how many times I managed to completely fail Persuasion and, Deception.
Yeah,
that other episode. I kept getting some pretty bad scores. So,
cool.
I am going to try and persuade them that, look here, you kobolds, who are definitely not gnomes, we know that you want to get rid of these. We can see that you're trying to get rid of these, and you want them off your hands just as badly as we want them on our hands, so, how's about this? We give you 3 silver each, and persuasion is 20.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, there is no hope in the 7 hells that they would refuse this. Oh, I'm sure we were supposed to come back with more than this. Yeah, that seems fine.
How many of them have you got there?
There's these 1, 2, 3. I'm not really good at counting.
I'll count the number of spears that there are.
There are 6.
6 spears. Okay, cool.
So that's what, 5 spears, 15 silver?
Nice.
5 spears for 15 silver.
Yeah. All 5 of those that they could definitely
I'm gonna
count.
need a deception check for that.
Do I try and deceive them? We're getting a pretty good deal here. Maybe we just pay them for the 6. We're getting a pretty good deal.
Yeah, no, you have to pay for the 6 because we're making a whole bunch of profit from this. It's 18 silver for 6 spears.
18 silver. Okay. So you hand the silver over. Cheers. And they pocket the silver and scuttle out the door.
Yep.
You write the spears down in the book and set about cleaning them up, ready for resale within the shop.
Specifically, Can we make sure to... the one that's got something scratched in it, can we try and buff that out?
Have you got any sandpaper?
Of course. You're essentially
Okay.
a pawn shop and armoury, so...
Okay, so
true.
let's try and buff that out.
And we're in the Underdark where there are no laws, so stealing things, not really
Well,
really a
it's
big
not
issue.
against the law, but also, like, you know, people might still want to get retribution for their stolen stuff. The less proof there is it was stolen,
We
you know.
weren't sure on specific company policy, so we're just being careful.
That's fair. So that brings you pretty much to the end of your working day.
Splendid.
Ah, so nice to get home from work and have nothing to do. Just be able to take some time off. Oh.
Art imitating life, I feel.
Something like that.
Okay, so what do you want to do with your evening?
Is it bad that my first gut instinct of what to say was, I want to do something with my evening that we can't repeat on a show that's going on iTunes?
Ah, yes, of course, because I have bowed to the evil that is the Apple Corporation. And
I don't know if they've accepted you yet, so you might not be on the evil corporation yet.
In which case, hail our glorious Apple leaders,
I was
who may or may
making-
not have allowed.
I was making an allusion to sexual references. Because I
Let's
have
fuck.
a dirty mind. Let's fuck. What do I roll to fuck?
I'm gonna make.
Do you have an
I'm gonna make
advantage on fucking?
I'm gonna make an acrobatics check.
I'm gonna make an athletics check.
Ooh,
17.
there we go.
That's a pretty
Okay.
good fucking with a 14 and a 17.
Okay, so you rolled a 10 plus 4, Valarie. That's what exactly were you trying to do with that acrobatics check?
Some moderately complex positions.
Was it a position that like required you to like leap into someone's arms while they were outstretched or something? You had to do like some kind of like acrobatic leap.
I suppose something like that. Yeah.
Were you trying to do the lift from Dirty Dancing?
Yes, but intercourse.
Sex.
Yeah.
I see, but like on a strap-on.
Yeah.
I was just going for athletics because that seems like the ability to just like go.
Okay, so you were going for just a thorough pounding.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's our sex rolls.
Okay, does someone want to roll for the boy?
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm trying to think of like a new skill we can roll for the boy. That's
Hang on. I have some ideas in mind.
Animal handling.
No.
Animal handling.
That's implying we're animals.
Hang on. Hang on. That's for a whole nother arc, which I haven't finished writing yet.
Right. So the boy's gonna make a Constitution save.
Right. Okay. To prove if he can breathe through his ears.
Yes.
Well, this show has degenerated, hasn't it, children?
Oh well, I mean, it was gonna get here eventually, wasn't it?
Okay, so you hump like nasty pigs, and after which you find yourselves tired and worn out and sweaty and not a little gross. And the boy goes over to the wash basin, brings a flannel and sponges you all down.
Lovely.
Because he is your slave boy.
He is.
I love that we're nearly 20 minutes into this podcast, and so far we've bought some spears and shagged.
Yeah, I mean if that's not a better summary of the podcast than anything else, I don't know what is.
Well, yeah, yeah.
It could go worse. Like I've been on entire episodes of podcast of like D&D podcasts where like the whole episode was just characters tried to fuck. So like as long as we're gonna try and do some story progression, then we're already making progress.
There's none of the will they won't they of the Jimquisition round here, is there?
No,
No,
we're getting straight to the fucking.
We gonna fuck. We gonna fuck
Do you get
right
it?
now.
Do you
We
get
gonna
what I
fuck.
said?
I would
Do you
love
get
the
what I
next
said?
Podquisition to get Jim onto Roll20 so I can force him to do a sex roll and find out how good the sex would be.
Oh my goodness.
Jim can roll me 20.
Oh.
Anyway. Well, that's been recorded.
Yes, it has.
So, what are we doing after the sex? Are we going to sleep and just getting up for work tomorrow?
I mean,
or
we should probably eat something.
Yeah,
want
we
to
should.
wink,
we should
wink,
go.
eat something?
Probably
We should
giving
go
ourselves
get
a bit of
some-
an appetite.
Should get some fried rat from Daru.
Goodness. Some Daru's fried rat. Why?
I like how you're throwing that curveball in there, Laura. That's a unique plan.
Goodness. So, as you are leaving the shop, you hear a noise from down one of the alleyways and see a bright blue and white glow.
Uh-huh.
Interested?
Always.
Oh, but chicken though. But rat though.
We can get rat on the way back. As far
Yeah, I
as I
suppose,
understand
yeah,
it, Daru's
okay.
Fried Rat is a 24-hour establishment, which is an easy thing to be when you have slave labour.
You make a very good point.
You approach the alleyway and you see what appears to be a large figure, maybe sort of 5.5, 6 foot tall, that is glowing blue and white. And as you watch, they seem to be getting smaller and smaller, and the light is dimming. And after a moment or so, you see that they are a kobold, just a normal kobold, wearing a hooded robe that runs to about waist height, and they pick up something on the floor near them and walk out of the alleyway, and they walk past you, heading off down the road.
I'm debating whether to cast Unseen Servant, and the problem I have here is that we could probably trail this person quite effectively, but the servant can't move more than 60 feet away from me, so we would need to trail this person just at a distance. But if we're just trailing them at a distance anyway, why use Unseen Servant?
Oh, that's a curious idea.
What's a curious idea?
Okay, so one of my cantrips is message. It's got 120 foot range. I point my finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message, and the target, and only the target, hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only I can hear. Do I, creepily whisper at him, at this kobold, what was that? Fascinating display. Or do I not?
I think we trail from a distance, and if it seems like he's getting away, both of these spellcasts might be useful plans.
Definitely. I'm also kind of curious. Can I make an investigation check to see if there's anything that in the general area of where he was glowing, to see if there's anything knocking about? Like maybe things he left behind.
Yeah, if you want to
or...
investigate the area, do wander down there and make a roll.
Investigation. Oh.
You see an alleyway. There is what appears to be a white dog poo, which is weird because no one's seen one of those since the 80s.
Can I roll stealth to start sneaking after this kobold?
Okay. Remember, you have your +2 for your ring.
Oh yes, my +2 as well. So I
so
get 10 plus 2, 12.
12. You follow the kobolds. They head towards a group of kobolds just slightly further into town. This group just appear to be just hanging out, as most of the kobolds in Mordtown do. A lot of them are staring at things in their hands and sort of muttering to each other. A couple of them are making out in a corner. I think one of them might be getting fingered.
Probably.
Yeah, it seems to be just general...
Is it just one of those nights? Everyone's getting laid tonight, it seems.
This is just what the kobolds are like all the time in this town.
Sounds like an alright way to live.
Yeah, but it's grotty round here. Let's not deny it's grotty in Mordtown.
Let's go. So I think a really good idea is to go somewhere that's much cleaner and much more ethical. So let's go to Daru's Fried Rat.
I thought you said you wanted to go somewhere ethical.
I'm not done here yet.
Did I?
I would like to try and do the investigation that I didn't do in the alley. I'd like to try and investigate from a distance now and see if I can tell anything extra about what's going on. I get a 9 investigation. It's slightly better.
It is exactly as I stated previously. These are just some kobolds hanging out as you would see a group of young people hanging around.
So it's
in
not
town.
9 points of investigation higher, no?
You notice that some of them have hooded robes that appear to have 3 white stripes up the arms and down the side. It appears to be some form of branding, but you've not particularly encountered any particular brands of hooded robes in this area before. You're not familiar with the local fashion.
How well hidden are we currently?
For a 10 stealth, you are in the
12,
shadows.
12 stealth.
For a 12 stealth, you are in a shadowy area not far away.
Okay, if we can get somewhere slightly more hidden away, but still within 60 feet, I would like to cast Unseen Servant.
Oh, I would say that you're within 60 feet. I'll let you be within 60 feet.
Get somewhere a bit more hidden away and cast Unseen Servant. So now I have an invisible, mindless, shapeless form that performs simple tasks as I command it until the spell ends. It has AC 10, 1 hit point and a strength of 2, and it can't attack. If it hits 0, the spell ends. It's completely invisible. I command the Unseen Servant to grab one of the robes and run.
Just the robe, or...?
Just the robe. I want to grab one of the... Get the servant to grab one of the robes and run, not towards us.
Why?
Because I'm hoping if we can get one of the robes, we can investigate around town with it and try and work out what the deal is here.
Oh, okay.
Is that
We can just ask people about hooded robes that have 3 white stripes down the arms.
Okay, right. Unseen Servant, go rob them of something that's more interesting than the robe.
Get it to nick one of the things that they're looking at, holding in their hands.
Unseen Servant, if you can still hear me, go nick one of the things they're holding in their hands.
Ooh, hurrah, at last. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
I'm sorry, it's been a long day. I had the components there. I knew the bit where I had to summon an invisible thing to go get something.
Can I just say, the last time I put one of these things in your way, you literally stepped over it and went to Darius.
Yeah, and it's been plaguing my mind ever since.
At the time, I really wanted Darius.
Clearly. The Unseen Servant heads over to... now, hang on. Previously, with the hoodie, with the robe, you said that you wanted it to be taken away from where you are. Now, as I said, all of these kobolds are pretty much staring at these things in their hands, the ones that have them on show. Do you also want this Unseen Servant to run away with it, or is it bringing it to you, or...?
I would like the Unseen Servant to run away with it, not directly at us, but close enough that we'll be able to see just this thing bobbing through the air and we can intercept it if required.
You know what we could do? I have a plan. We Indiana Jones this ship, and like as the thing that they're looking at comes towards us, we stealthily swap it out with a similarly looking object.
Do we have a similar looking object?
You make an interesting point.
I think the best thing we do is just get the servant to nick one and run vaguely towards, but not right at us. And we can watch and see what to do.
The Unseen Servant moves silently and invisibly towards the group of kobolds. They are just sort of generally chatting, having a good, what would be a Friday night, but it's the Underdark, and there are no real weekdays or weekends around here. No one has proper jobs apart from you, it seems. They're just hanging out, having a good time, and the Unseen Servant manages to pluck quite deftly one of these small objects from the kobolds and starts to make its way. Does it have a speed? You can move the servant up to 15 feet with an object.
Yeah, as a bonus action, so I would assume that that's a good reference point for its speed.
Okay, so it can move 15 feet per second per turn.
Kobolds are quite small, right?
They are. A kobold's speed is 30 feet, so it's twice as fast as the thing that is... It plucks one of these things from the kobold, who immediately exclaims and gasps, "What the fuck's going on?" and starts charging after it. It quite quickly catches up and reaches up and attempts to grab the object out of its hand, and is confused by the fact that there seems to be some invisible entity.
If they're fighting over it, the invisible entity has a strength of 2.
Strength contest. Ooh.
Natural box.
As the kobold reaches up, its claws rend through the unseen servant's arm, and the unseen servant is killed with its 1 HP. It wrestles back its object and returns to the group, looking very wary.
Before it does return to the group, you said it ran after the thing, didn't you?
It did. Are you really going to make me work out how far away it ran?
Well, no, my question is just, did anyone else run away?
No, I think the others did not run after. They were just sort of like, what's going on?
I'm probably watching him run after the thing.
What's all that about? Yeah?
Right.
If you're suggesting that you want to sneakily like kidnap the kobold, please don't.
No, that's not the way to go about it. I want to try casting a cantrip. Okay. I want to cast Thaumaturgy.
How would you like to go about that?
I would like to cause harmless tremors in the ground and cause my voice to boom up to 3 times as loud. And while this is all going on, hopefully very scarily, I would like to try and intimidate the kobolds by just shouting,
You have angered the unseen hand!
Intimidation.
Let's find out how intimidating that was. 3!
You've angered the unseen hand!
You've angered the...
I've angered it!
Chris from Darius. You've angered the unseen hand.
Why am I rolling?
I'm sorry about that.
Why am I rolling so terribly badly on these things right now?
Don't know.
I've been having a real, since last episode, I've been having a run of really bad rolls.
Maybe you need to blow on those digital dice or something.
Can I try re-rolling my dice now? I've blown on them now that they're not cursed.
No.
Fine.
The kobolds look confused. Several of them that didn't already have the objects in their hand pull them out of pockets and start sort of vaguely gesturing over them. And the one that had theirs stolen moves back to the group. What was all that about? I don't know, man. They're like some unseen hand thing? Do you know anything about that? No idea, mate. No, I got no idea. What we can do?
What I suggest as moving forward from this is that this has been an interesting case study to see how much importance the kobolds place in these devices, and now we know that we definitely really want one to see what they're all about, or at least inquire about them somewhere, because I feel like that is probably something we could have done before this.
Yeah, but I'm gonna point something out as well. And, hear me out on this. Leveling up is really good, and I think we should fight these things.
No!
Don't keep running away from fights!
No!
Brilmara, the murder hobo. Brilmara, the murder hobo. How dare you? She's not a hobo, she's got a home.
I'm debating, do I want to take this risk? I'm having a look at my combat spells quickly. Fine, we'll back away from this one. We will back away mainly because if you don't have my back on this fight, we're gonna die. I don't want to die. I need you willing to fight by my side.
I'll stand by you.
I'll tell you something that I am willing to do, and that's buy you Darius fried rat.
Oh.
It's not quite the same as finding out about a mysterious pendant and getting to murder a bunch of people, but I guess fried rat will do.
Okay.
Can I have dessert?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Feel better already.
You heading back to Darius, yeah?
Yeah.
Which you may find that there's some new items on the menu.
Oh,
A Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola's been there since the beginning.
yeah.
That was one of the first times.
A Rate. Oh. The rat smoothie.
Yep, all the drinks are new. All the drinks apart from the Coca-Cola are new.
There it is, rat smoothie.
The Rate, I'm glad that now is there, because I know what to get. I know what to get in the mornings now.
Lemon lemonade, lemon lemonade.
Casio.
Lemon noir.
Lemon noir. There we go.
It's the black and white police detective equivalent of lemonade.
She came in looking for something fizzy but tart, say?
Yes. I could see it in her eyes. She wanted 7-Up.
So yes, there is the new Dairy's Fried Rat menu with, as requested...
Orange juice!
You have to say it
Okay.
as orange juice.
Orange juice. It's orange in it.
You have to enunciate the air quotes.
Lunar Sea high sugar pasteurised orange juice. Fortified with vitamin C. It's proper Lunar Sea.
Yeah. It's Sunny D, but for the Underdark.
Oh my goodness.
You see,
That's
alright.
exactly what I wanted.
You wanted Sunny D.
I wanted Sunny D.
Anyway, I'm going to have to cut all references to Sunny D out.
Why?
Because I've just described it as high sugar pasteurised orange juice.
And are you afraid of retribution from the Sunny D people?
Yes, because they're owned by Coca-Cola.
Do you have pre-existing beef with Coca-Cola?
Sunshine Sea.
No, this is lunacy.
It's lunacy.
Welcome to Dairy's Fried Rat. We have new drinks available. We understood that there was a desire for them in the area. I do not know where they got these ideas.
Well, funny you mentioned that. I was fancying the 2 of the 3 newly added drinks the other day, so I guess there are ears everywhere.
I don't know what you mean.
Slaps my thigh jokingly. Anyway,
Somebody in the corner who was sitting behind a newspaper sort of rustles the newspaper and holds it up slightly higher. You notice that there are 2 eye holes in this newspaper.
okay, I'm just going to pretend that isn't there. Brilmara,
Hello.
what would you like?
I would like a gluttony meal and maybe dessert as well. I'm feeling like a war chief burger tonight.
Oh, same.
Yeah. Just get that big old greasy bit of meat in my face.
Okay. Can I get 3 gluttony meals with war chief burgers?
Okay, what drinks would you like?
Can I get a Lunar Sea?
1 lunacy.
A regular's fine.
I'm going to have a large lunacy.
That'd be 18 silver and 3 copper.
Have a gold.
Just 1.
Have 2 gold. So that's 7 copper, 7
That's
silver
what,
change. right?
1 silver, 7 copper. Your change.
Thank you.
What colour mystery gifts would you like?
Should we get another one of each, everyone?
I think we should get 2 green. I think we should treat the Thrall.
2 green and 1 red.
2 green, 1 red. Please don't open the red one in the store.
It's all good.
Chris goes about the store, gets you some fries. Can someone bring me some more fries, please? My chain won't stretch. Is that the sound of a wisdom saving throw I hear?
It's getting slightly easier to cope with every time, but it still hurts inside.
I'm glad you're starting to accept capitalism.
No! There you go.
Sorry, that rather tickled me. Ah, okay. Yes, you have accepted capitalism, and you
No.
feel absolutely fine about this. You managed no kidding. You managed to restrain yourself from immediately violently jumping over the counter, freeing the slaves like the end of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You take your meals back to the table and enjoy a delicious meal. Everybody roll Constitution, s'il vous plaît.
Constitution.
I think I ate a bit too much.
Goodness. Valarie and Brilmara, you feel quite queasy. It was a bit greasier than usual today. The rat was a bit stringy. You don't feel particularly well about that. Thrall, of course, gobbles it all down, no problem at all. Feels absolutely wonderful.
as usual.
And sort of looks like he might be eyeing up your fries.
Do you want some fries?
He sort of smiles and nods and sort of looks a little bit nervous, but eventually sort of reaches out and grabs the fries and enjoys them with ketchup.
I opens up Thrall's mouth and scrapes in the leftovers.
You stand on his feet, his head flips back.
Yes.
I
You
usually
just
treat
exactly
Thrall as a
that.
flip-top bin. Like a pedal bin.
So, are you going to open any of your items?
I would like to take both of the green in such a way that it's not obvious there's more than one, and give 1 to Thrall, and we'll see what happens.
He looks super excited. He looks at the capsule, and he looks at you, and he looks at the capsule, and he looks at you,
Go on, you can open it. Go on.
and he gets a really big smile, and he's very happy. It's a 12. Yay.
Yeah.
Boy, Boyo. Ah, 12. Good.
Boyo.
Boyo hasn't got 12 yet.
Oh, Boyo not good, 12.
What was that
I
accent?
don't know.
Culturally insensitive.
It sounded slightly culturally insensitive.
That was I'm tired and trying to mimic the voice you just did and doing it badly.
Right you are then. Inside the capsule, there is a small resin figure of a bored-looking, green-skinned character, maybe an orc, holding a mug, possibly of ale, with something hanging over their shoulder, some sort of cloth or other. And the boy takes it, and he takes out the other two that he has already, and starts setting up a little scene with the three characters on the table.
As he's busy setting up the scene, I want to sort of just slowly bring up the other green capsule sort of just into his peripheral vision. Very slowly, just so he might spot it.
Oh, he sees it immediately.
He just sees a hint of green and suddenly his instincts kick in.
He as soon as it starts to lift above the level of the table, he gets one sight of green and just immediately zooms right in on it. And it's look of absolute awe.
Hey!
But he's trying not to look too excited because he knows he's already had his gift today.
Hey, would you like a second?
Except he doesn't make noise.
You can have mine today. Here's
he does the
second.
silent version of that. You know the one I mean.
Yeah.
He's very excited and he looks very unsure.
Go on. It's for you.
He reaches out like this might be wrong to do, or like he's being naughty maybe.
No.
He's not entirely sure.
I got it for you because I knew you would like it, and you being happy makes me happy.
He leaps across the table and embraces you.
Oh.
And sort of nuzzles into your neck and gives you a little kiss.
Go on, open it.
Oh.
And he sits back down. Does somebody want to roll for the boy?
Oh, 12.
It's another 12.
Oh.
That's easy. I can just write ×2 on them. And it is another of the same figure, as I'm sure you understand. Not dissimilarly painted. Equally slightly slapdash. There's no real discernible difference between the two. Clearly these are quite massively produced, or maybe replicated by spell of some kind. Who knows, perhaps produced by slave labour.
Can I just say, I don't know if we've ever explicitly said this, but every time we talk about these, I'm picturing guys from Steven Universe.
I always thought that guys looked like they were probably better made than this, but perhaps not.
Yes.
I picture like the little resin figures that you get in Kinder Eggs.
Oh my goodness.
But
yes.
like worse painted.
Oh god.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like what is this even supposed to be? Not a good Kinder toy that you get to build, just one of those crap little resin figures.
Yeah, how does he respond to getting a duplicate?
So he's still really happy that you gave him the thing, and he puts it next to the others, and he's having a little resin figure party.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Ooh.
I stand up. I open the door. I go outside. And I open the red capsule because I just really fancy seeing what's in it.
Ooh,
Wow, all 12s today.
It's just rolling repeated 12s today. So, number 12, riding through the glen. Inside, you find a small piece of paper and a single use of mending, which means that you can do a spell will repair a single break or tear in an object that you touch, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of a broken key, a torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin.
Splendid. That's very practical.
It is, isn't it? You have finished your meals. I'd like to think you clear your trays after you've left. You head back out into the streets. Across the road, you see a small figure in very large orange robes and a very large hat. This outfit is entirely too large for them, and you wonder how they don't fall over, like, all the time. And they appear to be putting up some kind of signs on wooden posts and boards around and on other shop fronts as they pass.
Hang on a second. Thrall,
And Thrall sort of looks up at you.
Can you show me your action figures?
Thrall looks a little bit nervous, but holds out his collection of resin figures.
And remind me what each of them are like.
If you look on the boy's character sheet, under treasure,
A small creature in goggles with a massively oversized robe and a wizard hat. I take it, is the robe orange?
it is.
Is the figure in front of us wearing goggles and a hat?
Yes. It's almost like there is some connection.
I walk up to the orange-robed individual. Excuse me?
Hello?
Hi, yeah, sorry to disturb you this late hour.
Would you like a poster?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Can I just ask at this moment, has Thrall in any way reacted to this figure that looks like a giant version of one of his toys?
He seems a bit confused by the whole situation, but given how badly painted the figure is, he's only vaguely aware of a connection between the two things. They're not very well made, you see.
Okay.
He hands you a poster, and on this is some pictures of people in brightly coloured armour, almost neon-coloured armour, firing bolts of light at each other through what look like quite oversized wands. And it seems to be for some kind of attraction called Spellquest. And it advertises that they have a real live dragon boss.
What's Spellquest?
We're opening event in town. It's like an adventure that you go on, but it's small, but not like a dungeon. It's inside, and you get prizes at the end, and we've got a real dragon.
Is it a bit like a Dungeon Explorer's room escape thing?
It's a maze, and you fight things, and you shoot things with the spells, and each other, and you get to the end, and you fight the dragon.
I think we need to do this. This sounds fun.
Okay. The reason I wanted to ask is because Darius Fried Rat don't happen to be doing tie-in action figures for this, do they?
I mean, we haven't really sort of opened anywhere yet. I've been saving up for this for a while, since I met the dragon. So, I'm trying to come up with ideas.
Okay.
It's a new thing that I've come up with. I just thought it'd be fun for people to do, for people that don't go adventuring. I know people like to adventure, but that's not the thing that I do.
I'm just gonna straight up ask you. We went to a fried rat place down the road, and they gave us a figure that looks an awful lot like you.
That's unusual.
Yeah, any idea why that might be?
Not a clue.
Can I roll to see whether he legitimately has no clue, or
Of course.
Insight check.
You may always roll the thing.
Okay, so insight 17.
With 17 insight, you realise that your DM just decided it might be interesting to put characters from around the world in the figures, and make sure that the character of Thrall had an interest in them for no real reason.
Really, for no real reason? Or is that some kind of like, yeah, you're misleading us somehow?
For 17, I will let you know that...
Okay, this sounds an awful lot like there's more to this and I need to roll a natural 20 to have discovered this. Perhaps someone else in the party would also like to try and get some insight into the situation in the hope that they get more than 17.
Are you talking about me because I got a 12?
Oh.
Yeah.
I
For a
didn't
12,
notice
you think
roll.
this is an awful coincidence that you've seen somebody that looks like somebody else in town. And you have a feeling that the one you got 2 of today also looks like someone you've already met.
The one we got 2 of today, I need to look at the description of the one we got today again, because now I'm curious.
So do I.
You've got soda in your eye. How unfortunate.
Orc maybe. Oh, is this the person at the bar?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't you? Don't you know?
My goodness.
I don't have a clue.
Because, like, I want to go to this escape the room puzzle thing, but I also kind of want to go back to Daru's Fried Rat now and just shout at people until they explain what's going on. Just make a real fuss of things.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I'm just very confused by this whole mess and I'm not sure what you said.
Does the poster have any information on where we would go to find this?
There are directions on how to get there. It also says in quite large letters, opening soon.
How soon is this opening?
Should be open in, I don't know, probably a week. Gotta get some more wood. I need to see, honey about the wood. But we've got a dragon. Real dragon.
Okay. Let us we work over at the PolyArmoury. If you could let us know when you open, I definitely want to come along.
Ooh, could you put a poster up?
I can ask the boss about putting a poster
Yeah, we'll
out.
talk to our boss about it, but I'm sure she'll be fine with it.
Oh, thanks very much. More advertising. Get the word out. Yeah.
I think we should leave this as a mystery for now and go to sleep.
You head up to bed, and spooning, I believe, is the three-way spoon is traditional. Between the three of you. Who's in the middle tonight?
Thrall should be in the middle.
Who's front? Who's back? I'm just curious.
I'm front.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Goodness. So, yes, you wake the next morning. As you are opening the shop to start the day, you see, almost as if coming out of static, a large white-blue glowing spider. It's about 5 foot tall. Its body is roughly the size of Thrall, if he was rolled up in the fetal position, and it takes a few steps and then fizzes away, as if it was static on a television.
Fans of the PolyArmoury Twitter account may recognise this.
It's almost as if Vendirak's seen one before.
It's almost as if that's the case.
Is Vendirak knocking about the shop at the moment?
It's a bit early for Vendi. She's
fair.
Yeah, she's not here yet.
I feel like we should definitely ask her about this. I feel like I need to ask Vendirak a bunch of questions about Moortown.
Right now, is this thing being in any way aggressive?
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Oh, it's gone.
It was there. You saw it. It was large. It took a few steps and just seemed to vanish.
And then it was gone.
Fizzled away like Stafford.
Yeah, let's ask Vendirak about this.
And maybe a few other things.
Yeah, there's a few things going on.
Who usually opens the shop? Opens the front door?
Go on, I suppose I will. I just get into the habit of doing that sort of thing.
Okay, so Valarie, you head to the front door, you unlock and open, and you take the big sort of A-frame board and put that outside, saying that the PolyArmoury is proudly open. There may be perhaps some written joke of the day on there.
It's probably a pun of some kind.
Some sort of amusing PolyArmoury pun, which, you can come up with if you want. If you come up with it in the next few minutes, I'll just dub it in here.
An orgy of supplies.
An orgy of supplies. I like it. You put the board out, and across the road you see a shifty looking kobold with their hood up, bopping along, and they stop and talk to another kobold walking in the opposite direction. They have a brief exchange. It appears that something changes hand between them, and then they sort of part their ways and go in opposite directions.
I take it we just witnessed some kind of drug deal.
Goodness, drugs in the Underdark.
What a shocker. I'm so surprised.
After a few minutes, Vendi, she heads into the shop. Morning all, how's it going? Did we have a good night? I see that we are unaccosted, theft-wise.
Yeah, we're all good.
We've
We're
still
good in
got
that
all the
regard.
stuff. We
Slept relatively well.
We bought some spears from some kobolds, and we had a weird night where we have some questions to ask you after it.
Them spears, you get a good price for them, yeah?
Yeah, we got we obviously the going rate for spears is a gold a piece. We managed to get them to 3 a piece.
3 silver a piece.
3 silver.
To clarify,
Yeah.
not 3 gold a piece.
Nice, because of course we won't be selling them for that, especially if they're second-hand ones. They all being cleaned up and put in the window?
Yep, all tidied up.
Excellent. Any distinguishing marks buffed off, I hope?
Oh, of course.
Yes, you would look at these and have no idea if they had come from anywhere previously.
Nice. Okay, shop's all open. Right, I've just got to make a quick call, alright? And Vendi heads over to the large black disc that hangs on the wall, which you may remember from the first episode. And she gestures with her hands over it, and a figure of... it's quite indistinct at first, and then it appears to come in and be some kind of bugbear. And she says, "Still no words on the hammer, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, the noobs didn't manage to make it. I think the gnolls was a bit dodgy. We want to watch out for them. No signs of it coming in the shop. Doesn't seem like anyone else is trying to sell it. I did check out the remains of the warehouse, but someone's gutted it. I think maybe them gnolls, apparently they was in here selling spears yesterday. I guess it's possible. And the bugbear grunts.
Oh, I suppose. Well, if you hear anything, Vendy, darling, do let us know. Obviously, head office is quite interested in getting hold of it. Anyway, see you later.
And the image dissipates into a mist and is gone.
Okay.
And Vendy turns around. I believe you had questions, yeah?
Hey, Vendirak, I gotta ask you a question if you're free. Are you aware of, like, glowing blue spiders that just kind of appear out of nowhere and then disappear after a few steps?
About sort of 4 or 5 feet tall, glowing blue
Yep.
and white. They seem to sort of
Yep.
just phase in and out.
Exactly that.
Yeah, I saw one. I saw one the other day, actually. I have heard about more weird stuff going on. A lot of weird blue-white lights keep appearing.
Yeah, there may be some kobolds in town that have stones that do weird blue-white lights.
Stones?
Or some kind of small objects in their hands that do blue-white light stuff.
I don't actually think the objects are to do with that, right? We saw one of the kobolds outside last night, and they were glowing blue and white down the alleyway for a bit.
What,
It was very strange.
just one of the kobolds just, like, glowing in their hoodie?
Basically, yeah.
They were wearing weird cloaks, black with 3 white lines on them.
Oh, yeah, it's just some brand they all wear.
Okay, well, they all seem to be involved with each other.
Yeah, it's kobolds, though. They're a big old family, innit?
They all had these, like, devices that we could not get a hold of to work out what was going on with them, and they did the whole bluey-white glow thing.
Little black things they're all holding and staring at, yeah?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, scrytomes. Yeah, they've all got them.
Scrytomes.
Yeah, see, the thing I've got here is a scry pad. Bigger version, same thing. They've made them smaller.
Sorry, continue.
Basically, like the Brayburn company, they've been making them smaller. So there's like portable ones you can just carry around, chat to each other. That trash boy with an eye. I think they're on that thing. That with all the pictures.
Impstagram.
Yeah, that's it. Somehow they get to be famous on that thing. Don't know how that works. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to know more about that, I guess you'd probably have to talk to someone who actually knows about that. And I suppose Trash Boy with an eye.
Well, I suppose we can go. I suppose at some point we could go pay Trash Boy a visit and have a little look into that.
How about this? If you want to go by there, perhaps you could present yourselves on the pretense that we are just quality controlling, making sure they are happy with all their traps.
I mean, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, the names have installed them. Might as well make sure they're happy. Who knows? You might even be
Okay.
able to sell them something.
It's very true. Well, thank you very much. I suppose we should go do that.
Right, I'll look after shop for a couple of hours.
Thank you very much. We'll be back as soon as possible.
You head out to Trash Boy's cave of wonder, and you see that the paint job has been possibly enchanted. It now seems to sort of flash as if it's lit and the letters flash in sequence.
Oh, that's really fancy. Or is guards by the entrance again?
No.
Or...
As you
Okay.
recall, they weren't there last time either.
No, I'm going to do what I did last time. Use thaumaturgy to triple the volume of my voice and shout, Trash Boy in there!
Excellent.
And it echoes off the walls, thanks to the power of Audacity and some editing. And a couple of guards come marching up to the base. They are all incredibly smartly dressed in a high fashion but slightly silly way. Gaudy, definitely gaudy. And they each dab at you.
In response, I do like a 360-degree spin, like on the spot, into a double fidget spinner dab.
Holy fucking shit.
Did you just 360 dab scope?
Yeah, I 360 dab scope. I turned myself essentially into another fidget spinner. I spun myself around in a circle into the fidget spinner dab.
You became one with the fidget spinner.
I did indeed become one with the fidget
To
spinner.
understand the fidget spinner, you must become the fidget spinner.
I think one day I need to do a campaign with a character whose entire thing is just fidget spinners.
I feel like you
need
have
to make
already.
a character. Yeah, that's kind of what I've done, isn't it?
Your arcane focus can be fidget spinners, and you can cast spells through your fidget spinners.
I have the fidget spinners here mainly for when we interact with Trash Boy.
Excellent. All right. That wasn't their voice, was it? Was it?
Alright.
Something like that.
Oh,
You here to see Trash Boy then?
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah, come with us, mind the traps. And they lead you into the base. At a couple of points, they sort of gesture you around what are not very obvious pressure plates in the floor, but can be detected by those that know where to look. And you head along the corridors through a few doors to the magnificent throne room of Trash Boy. And they knock on the door. Who is it?
It's us.
Oh my god, come in.
So, as we come in, I would like to roll an acrobatics check to see how impressive of a fidget spinner dab 360 scope
Backflip.
thing. This is what I'm thinking, is I want to do an acrobatics check to see if I can basically 360 spin into backflip into double fidget spinner dab.
Good gracious.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to throw a backflip into this.
Do it. Do it now.
Acrobatics.
Oh.
3! Can I at least, fidget spinner dab on the floor in my very painful landing?
You start the fidget spinner spinning. You gesture to Thrall to open the door. You start doing your 360 spin. You trip over your own legs and throw your fidget spinners across the floor, which land at Trash Boy's feet.
Sorry, tried a new move. I was hoping I could have a new cool dab for you.
You're like Death, who keeps trying to pull off a kickflip in Manual Samuel.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Thought I'd try a new dab for you. It was gonna be sick.
Trash Boy looks a bit shocked and confused. Hi.
Hi.
Do you need these?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
And Trash Boy picks them up and sort of walks over. Thrall helps you up, and Trash Boy hands you back your fidget spinners. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Now, if I'd have pulled that off, it would have been really cool. So, what I was planning was 360 spin into a backflip and then into a double fidget spinner dab. I'm pretty sure it would have been a pretty nice bonding moment, but
that sounds like that would have been amazing. Something that I would definitely have tried to get pictures of.
I had the idea. We can always give it another go if you want to let me do another acrobatics roll.
I value my eyesight, and I have things in here I really don't want broken. I mean, it's lovely to see you again. And I've got traps now.
I'm tempted to now just do the acrobatics roll anyway and try it. Even though... No, I'll be nice. You've got traps! They're fantastic!
They're so good! I know, I'm so glad. And obviously I've been putting pictures of them up on my Instagram, and I'm getting a lot of response. Yeah.
This is really cool.
What do I owe the pleasure?
We're here mostly for quality control, just to make sure everything's working okay and up to the standards that we ensured. We're just routine checkups to make sure everything's going smoothly. And also, we were very curious about what Impstagram's all about.
Well, I put pictures up, and they all end up on the Scrying Network, and then people look at my pictures and tell me how pretty I am, and sometimes they give me money. It's really good.
That's pretty cool.
I have to wonder, is it even worth them saying it? Because what are they going to say other than that you look perfect?
Well, sometimes you get trolls. There's a lot of them.
There are quite a lot of trolls down here in the Underdark.
I know, and so many of them seem to have scrytomes. I don't get it.
We also actually wanted to ask about the scrytomes because, I'll be honest, where we come from, we don't actually have, what is it, the Scry Network?
The Scrying Network, yeah. It's, they used to be scry pads. Everyone had scry pads or just unbranded scrying mirrors. They were pretty popular if you wanted to sort of communicate and stuff, but the Brayburn people managed to get something working, and now they're everywhere, especially in the bigger cities Groybon, and we're just south of Groybon, so we get a lot of the really cool stuff, and I get to be part of that.
That sounds really cool. Do you know where I could get one? Because, I'm really interested in, A, telling you how good you look, because, honestly, don't have enough of that in my day. And, B, I kind of want to try and, put up pictures of myself doing cool fidget spinner dab tricks.
That would be amazing.
And I want to put up pictures of other things.
Okay, well, I think there's a shop in town, in Maudtown.
Oh.
The Cart Tome Warehouse.
Was that all just so you could do that?
It was that or tomes for you.
Oh, I like the cart to tome warehouse.
We've got tomes for you at Tomes for You.
Exactly.
I love you so fucking much.
Thank
4
you.
episodes I've been waiting to say that.
Please leave in this laughing.
It's just 10 minutes of us just laughing at my joke.
It was a
Can
very
you imagine
good
how much
joke.
fun we'd have had if you'd have found that hammer last week?
What a coincidence. The hammer's also here. You should tell us the joke you had for the hammer.
Actually, all the elements of that joke are in that episode. They're just spaced out in such a way that it's not obvious what the joke is.
I'm gonna have to listen back now.
To the cart tome warehouse.
Bye then!
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no, we can still stick around for a bit.
Well, see, I was gonna go just because, like, any minute of my day that I haven't got one of these yet to tell you how pretty you look on it, then that's just wasted minutes in the day, honestly.
you... Okay.
We still do need to do that quality control though.
Fine, but the fact that I'm not yet sending lovey-dovey messages to Trash Boy it's not my fault now.
They are definitely flattered by your kind words. What are you going to do? Are you going to hang around more? Do you have anything more to do here?
We need to investigate and see how the traps are doing. Is that not the pretense under which we came here?
Yeah, I mean, you can just ask.
How's the
How are the
traps
traps
doing?
doing?
I mean, they're great. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had a chance to test them out and stuff, but the gnomes that came, the gnomes were really good. Oh, they're so kind and they're so cute. And oh my god, the petite chest is so cute! Oh, sometimes it
Isn't
licks
it?
my hand when I feed it things.
Oh,
It's so cute. Yeah, I'm so happy. One of those days I'm going to get one of the big chests because I think it's just nice to have them around. And I kind of like having... I know I bought the petite chest to put in my treasure room, but I feel like it might be nice to have one at the end of my bed so I can hear it snoring because they have the cutest little snuffly snores.
Hey, you know what we could do? We could try and get that sorted out today so that when we leave here, your chest has got a friend.
A chest friend?
A chest
love it.
friend. Oh, goodness.
I suppose I could take another petite chest.
Go on, go
I mean,
on.
do they get on if you get like 2, or do they fight? Because I know some.
I believe that they get on very, very well. They get on great. They're lovely. They're best friends.
Oh, okay, I mean, yeah. How much is another petite chest then?
1,000 gold.
Okay. And Trash Boy heads over to the dresser and picks through a bag of gold and counts out 1,000 gold pieces and hands them to you in a small bag. I'm so excited!
well, thank you very much. We'll make sure that your new petite chest is delivered to you very swiftly.
Make sure to send us pictures when we have the ability to see your pictures.
There's gonna be so many pictures.
They're going to be the best pictures.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yes, do that.
Awesome. So, couple of days, same as last time.
Same
Should
as
be,
ever.
yeah.
Excellent. Wow, I'm really excited. So you heading back?
I suppose so. Yeah, let's go to the Cartstone
Yeah,
warehouse.
let's head back and, be like, hey, we got some job done.
You head out of Trash Boy's room and just down a short corridor you find a small guard post with a couple of the guards just sitting around rolling dice against a wall.
Hey, do you mind giving us a walk out just to make sure that we don't accidentally get hit any traps on our way?
Sure, no problem. They do a really sloppy dab and sort of march you down the corridor through a door and off out through the main thing. At one point, the goblin trips and falls over, and just in front of you, and their face hits what is clearly a floor panel, and over their head just rushes a massive squirt of flames. Ooh. And they manage to sort of scuttle back underneath it without getting too badly injured. After a couple of seconds, the flames stop. Oh, that was a bit close. Oh, goodness.
Well, I suppose we know the traps work.
As a little singe of hair that just got caught under
no.
the blaze. And you all head towards the exit very carefully around
Yes.
the pressure plate on the floor. And they show you to the main exit and give you another vague, sloppy dab salute
Of course.
as you head off. See you
Excellent.
again!
Bye.
I can't judge their dabsolutes too badly, considering that, like, they didn't fall over while trying to do them, so they're a step ahead of me today.
It's
That's
true.
true. Where to next?
To the cartoon warehouse!
Thank you very much for joining us. Laura, where can we find you these days? I hear you've moved.
You can find me now at kotaku.co.uk, or you can still find me on a bunch of other podcasts and things. Like, I do Pixel Squirt, Podquisition, Dice Funk, the Crystal Clodcast. But the main place, kotaku.co.uk, that's where most of my stuff goes now.
And George, where can we find you?
If you like video games and communism,
I do.
you can find me at jaffermeister.com, where I violently mash communism into video games to talk about how it makes sense. youtube.com/jaffermeister, where you can find my latest episode of the series Your Favour's Communistic, where I try to convince my comrades in games media that their favourite video game characters are secretly communists, with special guest Alice Bella Video Gamer. You can also find me on indiehaven.com, where I'm the editor-in-chief. You can also find me on Twitter. And if you like the sound of trans-centric communist memes, you can go to the Facebook page Trans Ham Agenda Sickle, where I'm starting to make really ridiculous trans labour wave communism meme things.
And I am Jane Eris Magnet. I can be found on YouTube as Maniac Janiac. I can be found on Twitter as at Maniac Janiac. I can be found on SoundCloud as Jane Eris Magnet. At some point, this entire show may end up on the evil iTunes.
The evil of iTunes?
Sorry, the lovely, wonderful Please Let Us on iTunes so that some people listen to us. Thank you to everyone who has been listening. It's very much appreciated. If you like to tweet at us, use the hashtag @PolySMR, or you can tweet us at PolyArmoury SMR. That's ARMOURY. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us again sometime. More adventures. Thank you very much.
Fighting death and human horse, Thorson tried to kill them all. They escaped the vile moor. Now PolyArmoury store. PolyArmoury.
That's fucking amazing.